We've got a chance right now to talk to a state champion. This is Brandon Kampsen, who just competed down at the state track meet for Sauk Center. So, first of all, welcome and congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Let's first of all deal with your family, okay? And what Kampsen are you? So explain your family to us, okay?
Yep, so my family is located in Sauk Center. My dad's Kurt Kampsen, my mom's Christine, and I have a sister named Sarah.
Okay, and a lot of cousins then too?
Yep, a lot of them in Belgrade, Elrose area.
All right. So you go down to the state tournament and you take 2 titles there in cross country. You take the state championship as well. Let me take you back to last summer as you trained and prepared for your senior year. What kind of goals, and be honest with me here, did you actually sit there and think, I think I can win 3 state championships?
I definitely didn't think 3. I was really going for the state cross championship, but track is always a little up in the air. These races are a lot closer, and it was just so far in the future that I wasn't thinking about it.
So, again, as you set goals like that, tell us about your season then and what you accomplished, okay? Just wrap everything up for us.
Yeah, so cross country, we had that long summer training, and then I got a little, I wouldn't say Achilles injury, but I had a little Achilles tendonitis, so we fought through that. Coming strong off some meets, I was projected 3rd in the state meet for cross, so I kind of like coming in as the dark horse. It's nice not knowing you have a target on your back, and obviously we wrapped cross up with a nice state championship. And then for track, I trained all winter with Nathan Lahr, waking up at 5 a.m. each morning, running before and after school. It was definitely a grind, but it definitely paid off. We were uncertain at first if it did make a difference or not, but in the end it did, showing our team how well we did at True Team State, and then individually, obviously winning the 2 state titles.
So let me take you back even further. When you were a younger athlete, and now that you've grown as a senior and doing what you're doing now, was there kind of a point in your life, though, too, to where when you were younger that you maybe didn't have that kind of confidence when you were running?
Yeah, I definitely didn't. I had great mentors in cross country when I was younger, but I always wasn't confident in my races up until probably my senior year, because typically I wouldn't go out and win races. It was more just fight for second or maybe first.
So it's not only a physical, but it's really a mental game, isn't it?
Absolutely. You can get burnt out really easily. This kind of happened in all of our winter and summer training. That's why that week off right now, which is I'm on, is so necessary just to reset your mind and body.
So as you train for this, what kind of workouts do you do, and how does it compare with the cross country and just your track season? Are they pretty similar to that?
They're somewhat similar. Coach Metcalf definitely has us do 400s, but more geared in track. We do more sprints, and in cross country, it's definitely distance runs, such as the dump ground route, which most of you guys know. And it's just longer runs on the nature trail, which typically we don't touch in track because it's all got snow on it.
You know, to avoid injury as well, you kind of touched on a little bit, but you've been able to stay pretty healthy, haven't you?
Yeah, it definitely helps running on grass. That's what I've definitely learned, is to stay on the soft stuff and not the hard stuff. Speed isn't everything, and just to take your easy days very easy.
Now, how does it work for the state track meet? Are you limited to what you can do and how many events you can go into?
Yep, so I can only do 3 running events. So I made it in 3 events, but I dropped the 4x4 just for my individual success. It definitely paid off, but I can't do 2 events over 800 meters.
I do want to take a look here in a second with your state track, but I also want to go back to cross country. Correct me if I'm wrong. You seem to have a friend. Is he from Staples Motley that you would run with?
Yes.
Yeah. And so during the races itself, it seems like you two are just out there working out, doing a run, talking. Then eventually you kind of reach a point to where you say, well, I got to go. See ya. Is that the way it works?
It sometimes works like that. We're good buddies, and he's such a good runner. We're both in the same grade, too, so it's definitely fun seeing him also succeed.
You know, too, at the state cross-country meet, you were kind of pushed there at the end. Did you kind of have a plan in mind as to how you were going to finish and to take that guy right at the end?
Well, he's also a good friend of mine. His name's Henry Karelitz. He's always got that. He's more of a distance runner. He's geared towards distance. I guess I can kind of do both, but I definitely was working, trying to outkick him at the end. He doesn't have the greatest kick. He still has a strong kick, but I just got that leg speed, which is an advantage of me. So I came into that race knowing that if I kept it close into the last 200-300 meters, I most likely could take him. But in my mind, it was end of the cross season. I was starting to feel a little burnt out, but I'm glad I didn't sell my state championship just for a little temporary success and relieve myself.
And the weather always has to be a factor as well. Are you good in the cold weather?
I do love running in the cold. Once it gets hot, it definitely slows me down.
So then how about the track season itself then, when it gets hot like that?
Well, the track season started off extremely cold this year, which wasn't a good thing either. Going to those meets hiding under a blanket the whole meet and just getting stiff, risk of an injury. But then it heated up, which was definitely a good thing. I'll always take the heat over the cold. But it just is crazy how hot it was on some of these meets. You get those black tracks, and it feels like a desert out there. You can't get any heat. There's no wind, of course. On the one day you might want wind, there's never wind. So
yeah, it can be a grind because also too, track meets are really long, aren't they?
Yeah, it's weird because you want to watch the meet, but there's no shade in the stands, so you just sit at camp the whole time and you kind of feel like you're ditching your team there. It's just annoying that you have to sit under the tent, hide in the shade, otherwise the sun will really take it out of you.
Okay, let's go to the state track meet here and watch Brandon run. Your first event is what, the 1600, right?
Yes.
And so as we look at this now too, I have to apologize personally. When I recorded this, or as you watch this, it gets out of focus for just a second, but then it recovers, okay? So bear with me and things will work out. But as you start the race here, the 1600, how important is the start here for you?
It's extremely important. In my mind, I had it that I did not want to lead this race. I wanted to outkick the last 400. A lot of these guys ran the 3200 previously, the night before, in which I ran the 800 prelim.
So too, do you, now as we start here, are you doing homework on your competitors here, or are you just worried about your own self here?
A bit of both, because I raced against these guys. You see the guy in the white, kind of maybe in the second lane here. I kind of wave him on. I don't know if you can see that, but I want him to lead. I don't want to get out in this race early. So I just want to stick on his hip the whole time and use him as a wind block.
Maybe this is a dumb question. When you get bunched up like this, are you afraid of getting tripped or anything?
I absolutely am. I mean, some of these times I had to slow down, not throw my arms up, but it's scary because one trip, sure, the person might get DQ'd, but they have no sympathy for you here.
So as this race goes on here, and this is going to be about a little over 4 minutes long, but what is your strategy here? Are you comfortable being back in the pack here a little bit?
I'm absolutely comfortable here, but I didn't want to get separated too much from the front pack. Otherwise, I would get lost. So here I try to make a move. I never want to pass on a curve. Otherwise, I lose a stride or two. But I want to be in position before this next curve starts.
Now, not knowing much about this, but when you made a move like that, was that also to not get boxed in?
Yes, at the start there, that first lap, I kind of got boxed in, which is a scary thought because you can easily lose a stride, and everyone else, it's tough to catch up when you're just chasing them the whole time.
So in a race like this right now, you're in 4th place and cruising along fine, but do you feel, are you sensing the pace of this is what you want?
Yeah, this was absolutely the pace I wanted. I wanted us to almost go out a little slower than normal and just have it be a sprint at the end. Rather, as some of these guys, I'm sure, wanted to take it out fast and just hold it.
So again, does it make any difference who's in front of you right now, or you're just doing your own thing?
I'm just doing my own thing right now, but I definitely watched who was in front of me just to make sure where they were at in the race and that they weren't just on my hip the whole time.
So again, as you kind of did your homework and seen who has what times, those are the ones, are you kind of keeping the side of your eye open here?
Yep, so I raced against the guy at sections in red, who's a very good runner. But then these two here, and now first and third, both ran the 3200, and I ran against them both in cross. They took second and third, so it's definitely a tight competition between the two of us.
Now, you had to run the 800 the day before. Does that affect you at all here?
Well, it did a little bit. My legs were just feeling a little tight, but I made sure to run it more smart over speed-wise. So I got about a 157 flat almost, and I placed first in my heat, but second in the overall race, which is totally fine with me. The lane positions don't matter that much to me, but I wanted to play it smart just so that my legs wouldn't feel it the next day.
Okay, so you went a little wide here, and what's going on now?
Here's where the race starts to split as we're closing in. I think this is the third lap that we're closing in on here, so I wanted to be right next to Mr. Henry Karelitz here just so I could try to take him at the end.
So does he feel you coming here?
I'm sure he definitely hears me, but I was also worried about who was behind me as well here because we're all trying to make our moves going into this final lap. Anything can happen. It just goes so quick.
So are you still feeling pretty fresh right now?
I did. I felt really good on this mile. I think definitely taking the 800 out as a smart race and not a speed race the night before definitely helped me.
Is it right now then too, are you trying to wear down these other guys?
Yeah, I'm trying to wear him down here. I wanted to go out fast on this last lap. I wanted to make myself give a lead so I'm not touchable here.
Now, how often do you look back? Do you know where you're at?
So typically I give a little glance over the shadows, maybe, or my shoulder, about every 20 meters just to try to see the shadows because I don't want anyone near me here. And I start to slow down maybe the last 50 meters because I realize how much of a lead I have. And I'm thinking to myself, let's preserve my legs for the 800 and let's try to run it back and win another one.
And at this point, how's your breathing going?
My breathing was absolutely heavy here, but I'm excited. I got adrenaline going through me. I hear the crowd, and I'm just smiling ear to ear.
Can you sense what time you're at right now?
I did a little bit. Time wasn't really my worry going into this race, so we got that one big clock on the scoreboard and then that one on the ground right there. But it definitely felt nice knowing that I finally got the school record.
Well, excellent. So now we're going to see you at the podium here. And who's presenting the medals here?
Oh, the one and only Mr. Peschel. Quite an odd occurrence.
So the state championship in the 1600. Now we're going to move along here to the next race. How's your cardio? How's your body feeling now as you get ready for the 800?
Well, my hamstrings and glutes were a little tight after that 1600, so this one I wanted to go out fast here. I was scared running this race.
The start has to be very important here, right?
Yep, so I don't want to get behind anyone. I wanted to go out to this race to lead it here. This is one of the many races where I wanted to go out and fly. Rather, as the mile, we went out slow.
So you have to be happy with the start, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So sorry that it gets out of focus, but we're getting the main idea here. And so you're starting to break away a little bit here.
Yeah, that was absolutely what I wanted to do. Because so there was a little breeze, not too much of a breeze here, but I didn't want anyone to use me as a wind block either. Because not only does that break or hurt me physically, but it kind of hurts me mentally knowing that they're just using me.
Now, do you know some of these guys you're running against?
Yes, I do. I ran against, so in the top three here, those two other guys I both ran against last year in the 800 meters.
What do you think's going through their mind right now?
I think maybe they know I peeled away. I don't know if they're trying to chase me, but maybe they're fighting for second place.
You are not going to slow down here, are you?
No, it definitely was painful going into that last 200. I tried to kick, but my legs were just not feeding me. They were not giving me that feedback. I started to feel the mile right about now. So I went out and I was just trying to survive this last 200 meters here.
When you make this last turn and you see that straightaway, what are you thinking right now?
It couldn't be any longer. I tell you what, I think that was the longest 10, 15 seconds of my life. It just didn't go any quicker, but the crowd definitely helped. And I was just amped when I finished, although I was very exhausted.
You made it. It's got to be just a sense of relief at this point, too, right?
Yeah, knowing the pressure's off me, like I said, I'm coming into this race with a target on my back. I had the highest time in single A just coming into this race here.
So another school record. You broke a record that's been around for a long time.
Yeah, the mile, right? The mile record? Yep. That was definitely fun.
Yeah. Rob Miller's had that record forever. That was a long time ago. What, 31 years ago, but he could really run. So to break a time like that, wow, that's really something.
Yeah, he can keep the 2 mile record, though. I out of bounds for me. I don't like the 2 mile too well. So.
Well, that's excellent, Brandon. Congratulations again. Let me ask you about your future now that you're a senior. What's in your plans here?
Yep, so I'm committed to run at South Dakota State University. So next week I start my summer training, and then I'll run cross there. I might redshirt, I haven't decided yet. And then I'll also do indoor and outdoor track.
Excellent. How did you decide on going there?
They have a really nice campus. It was a tough decision between a few schools. I also got a few buddies going with me from the track team we have right now. But they have amazing facilities they just built. I guess I would call it new. It's maybe a decade old, but it's a 300-meter indoor track. So they have very nice facilities along with great people.
Who's going with you?
Ben Anderson, Derek Sorensen, and Nathan Lahr.
Is that right? You know, I want to get back to the Sauk Center track team itself and your coaches. It has really grown, hasn't it? How has it done that?
I think it's off our success. Just with cross and track alone, I remember barely having anyone in it. And now we have just crazy numbers. It's almost like we got to shout to get everyone to listen.
Yes. Well, and your coaches too. Can you touch on that and name your coaches and what they've meant to you?
Yep, so Jim Metcalf is the cross-country head track coach. I wouldn't be out here with him today. He's a great guy and definitely made me the runner I am today. Mr. Lean, the thrower coach, but always bringing me some sort of giggle each day with a new word. Miss Werman is the sprinter coach for track, but I also took some advice from her. She also never made Kelt quizzes any easier the day of a track meet. And then Miss Van Haverman and Detterman, which both helped us in the end.
And with Coach Lean too, you'll hear that voice in your head forever, won't you?
Absolutely. Those form runs, I'll never forget them.
All right. Well, you've represented Sauk Center extremely well. We see you there out on the freeway with your sign and your big billboard. You going to get a new one now or what?
Well, I was always joking with Mr. Peschel that I might need a bigger billboard, but no, it was awesome to see they put that billboard up for me, and I thank the community for that.
All right. Well, thank you, Brandon Kampsen.
Thank you very much.